Okay, folks, this is Raven Blaze, and as some of you may know, I'm into atheism. Well, yeah, because there is no deity, especially not the genocidal monster. LGBT rights. I made a couple of videos a couple of months ago about advice to parents and about some of my own experiences as a queer individual. But I have something else to show you. This is me. That's right. If you don't recognize this magazine, it's actually The Advocate. In the summer of 2008, the Pride edition, I made it in as the Generation Q feature. Because for a year, I ran around my college, BGSU, as a big gay superhero. The idea for this creature sprang from, well, I don't know. I had gotten a flag from the Big Gay Conference, the Big Gay Midwest Conference. Alphabet Soup it was called that year when it was held in Minneapolis. And I saw somebody wearing it as a cape. And then over the summer, I kind of developed a little bit of an idea for a gay superhero. Maybe to pull out during one of BGSU's LGBT weeks. Yeah, word jumble, letter jumble. Vision, the group, holds 2 events yearly. One of them is a week-long of events called Coming Out Week, and then in the spring they have Rainbow Days. So, I don't know, I gathered all my pride gear, my belt, my flag, spiked up my hair because I had a mohawk at that point. Grabbed my rollerblades because it's just easier for me to get around campus on rollerblades. Well, it was. I graduated since, but... And we were getting ready for this protest, which was the event for the day. So I'd gone up to Vision, the office for Vision, the student group's office, and I started grabbing the posters, but then I was like, wait a minute. And I just went for it. I grabbed a pink Q, or I grabbed a piece of construction paper, cut a big old Q out of it, grabbed another piece of construction paper, cut a pink triangle and a black triangle, and taped them together, and the result was this. I skated out of the building, I skated down to where the protest was being held, and I said, "Greetings, citizens, I am super queer." And, well, first they looked at me like, what the fuck is Jen doing? And then they were like, okay, go for it. So I started racing around the school, especially around the student union, where there were a lot of people, and they would see the big gay superhero go by, and then they would go talk to the protesters. And I realized that. So that is the story of super queer. I went on for a year or two, once a week, put on the costume, and race around campus. And there were days where I would print out signs and then safety pin them to the cape. So I could walk through the student union, or I could walk through any buildings, not say a word to anybody, but they would still get my message. On World AIDS Day, I had a sign that said, "Don't like rubbers, that's a crime, use a condom every time." And, well, I got quite a few laughs, but at least I got the picture. And when the Red Cross came to campus, as some of you may know, the Red Cross doesn't allow gay people to donate blood or transgendered individuals to donate blood because they don't have a box that gay men, because of the AIDS scare in the 1980s, and transgendered folks, because unfortunately they don't have a box on their form that says, were you ever known under a previous name? Because the name and the social security number don't match up, then there goes through a big hullabaloo, and they toss out the blood because they think it's bad because things don't match up in their database. But that could be fixed simply by them adding another box to the sheet saying, were you ever a different name, were you ever a different gender? But on the days when the Red Cross came, I walked around with a sign that said, allies, heterosexual supporters, please give blood because gay men can't. And, well, a BGSU alumni, Jeff Hindernock, actually picked up the story because they had done a couple of features of me in the school newspaper. So from that, he said, you know what, I'm going to try and get this into some of the bigger productions, some of the bigger magazines, but he wasn't going to make any promises. So he submitted it to the Advocate, and that was the result. I became the national big gay superhero, Super Queer. Further exploits of Super Queer, I was invited to skate in the Cleveland Pride Fest, which was absolutely fun. I got to race around all the different people that were in the Pride, flip off the protesters, and try to get into an argument even though they didn't understand a word I was saying. Probably because they had been hitting themselves in the head with the Bible so much that, well, they knocked themselves senseless. But yeah, that's the story of Super Queer. Peace out.